Heart and soul, I fell in love with you, heart and soul, the way a fool would do madly, because you held me tight and stole a kiss in the night. Heart and soul, I begged to be adored, lost control, and tumbled.
Apartment. This is not the photo of that. During the First World War I, the internal conflicts arose between members of the Lodge. Lodge members were divided between nationally oriented members and Yugoslav-oriented members. In 1918, the Grand Symbolic Lodge of Hungary allowed the establishment of an independent Grand Lodge in Croatia. It was finally founded on January 11, 1919, under the name Matica Loža Ljubav Bližnjih. The Lodge BuDnost was one of three lodges that constituted the new Grand Lodge. On May 18, 1919, the Lodge BuDnost also received recognition from the Yugoslavian Grand Lodge Matica Loža Ljubav Bližnjih. The following month, June 19, all the lodges were, because the new country was established, Yugoslavia at that time, actually the kingdom of Serb, Croatians, and Slovenians. So the following month, June 1919, all the lodges were closed down, and the Grand Lodge of Serbs, Croats, and Slovens, called Yugoslavia, was founded in Zagreb. Representatives of 6 lodges met and created new Grand Lodge. Lodge BuDnost was one of those 6 lodges founders. In 1925, Lodge BuDnost has moved to a new address, Trg Baruna Trenka 5. This is the house which was used as a temple. For this occasion, the house was renovated to meet the criteria of the temple. In 1930, Lodge BuDnost had 43 members. This is the tracing board of the original of the Lodge BuDnost. What was worrying for the Masons was the creation of a fascist regime in Italy and Nazi one in Germany. Both regimes banned the work of Masonic lodges. From the annual report on the work of the Lodge BuDnost from 1936, it can be seen that the works of the lodge are no longer at the previous level. The social-political situation in the country and in the world contributed to the most of it. Domestic newspapers, Hrvatska Straža, Hrvatski list, Zagrebački list, Obzor, Vreme, Slovenec, started to write articles against Freemasonry more and more often. In 1938, Freemasonry was banned in Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Poland. 1st of January 1939, the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Serbs, Croats, and Slovens tried to encourage Masons with a written statement urging them to continue their work regardless of the difficult political situation. In 1940, Masonic magazines, sites, and Britain were banned. Police raided the homes of some famous Masons. A search was also conducted in the temple of the Grand Lodge in Belgrade. August 1st, 1940, due to this pressure, the Grand Lodge made decision to stop all operations. 13 days later, August 14, 1940, Zagreb lodges were raided by police. Next day, 15th of August 1940, the law on the confiscation of all Masonic property was passed. Lodge BuDnost, under pressure, voluntarily, under the quotation marks, distributed its property to the city schools and various organizations. A 15-page brochure entitled Down with Masks was published in Osijek newspapers. A list of Osijek Masons and their immediate family members were published in it. After the establishment of the fascist independent state of Croatia, on April 10th, 1941, Jews had to wear the yellow ribbon with the capital letter Z on their left upper arm. The letter Z is because in Croatian language you say Jew, Židov, we start with Z. Masons had to wear a yellow ribbon with the capital letter M on the right upper arm. Those Jews who were also Masons had to wear both ribbons on both arms. In August 1941, two large demonstrations against Jews, Masons, and communists were held in Osijek. Culmination of Masons' persecution was organization of anti-Masonic exhibition in Osijek as a continuation of the same. Now I'm going to go with some photos which are original, were taken actually from the movie, and they represent this anti-Masonic exhibition. Exhibition was opened in March 13, 1942 in the temple of the former Freemasonry Lodge BuDnost in the presence of Croatian ministers and army officers, both Ustaše and Germans. The minister who opened the exhibition stated that Croatian people in their work for cultural, economical, and political progress have always looked at the work of the Freemasonry lodges with disgust and waited only for the time when they would be able to liquidate them. The exhibition was furnished with materials such as altars, pillars, for example, taken from the former Masonic Lodge BuDnost, then from the British Lodge Prince of Wales, from the island of Jersey in United Kingdom, and from the Belgrade Lodge. An anti-communist exhibition was housed in a special hall built for this purpose. This was the main rehearsal for the anti-Masonic exhibition, which was planned to take place in Zagreb immediately after this one is Osijek. Given the great interest of the visitors of the exhibition, the city of Osijek sent a request to the Ministry of Transportation to grant a 50% discount on the train return tickets to Osijek. For the purpose of the opening the exhibition, a company of Ustaša army, a company of German army, and a home guard orchestra were lined up in front of the building. The exhibition closed on April 3rd, 1942. Here are some few more photos from this exhibition. Anti-Masonic propaganda in the independent state of Croatia was very strong. You can see in the following quote from the propaganda work Tajna družba, which means secret society, from 1942. I will now just cut this little bit. Okay, let's go like this. So lodges and synagogues became empty. Under the blow of Croatian Ustaša movement and the Allied army, Masonic Yugoslavia was liquidated in 1941 in just 8 days. This dungeon in which the Croatian people were abused for over 20 years was conceived and founded by Jews and Freemasons and handed over to the administration of Greater Serbia circles. In that dungeon, the Croatian national consciousness and the living Croatian state law had to be completely destroyed. There are no lodges in Poglavnik's Croatia. The Jews have been removed from the Croatian national community. It rang out to all international societies, including the Jewish Masonic child, the growing Marxism. Thanks to the Ustaša movement, the layer of the opponents of religion, family, and homeland was destroyed. Of the members of the Lodge BuDnost, which were victims of the World War II, were Hugo Kolar, Julije Kaiser, Slavko Hirš, Robert Wilhelm, Mosin Klein, and Pavel Fischer. They were prisoners in the Croatian concentration camp Jasenovac, and they were executed there. Dragutin Šaj, a former worshipper master of the Lodge BuDnost, managed to survive captivity in the Jasenovac concentration camp, but died soon after liberation in 1945. During the communist rule between 1945 and 1991 on the territory of Yugoslavia, Freemasonry was almost extinct. With the disintegration of Yugoslavia in 1991, Freemasonry is slowly returning to the scene in the new formed countries. In 1995, 30 Croatian Masons, who until then worked in the Lodge Illyria from Vienna in Austria, founded 3 lodges in Zagreb in Croatia. On September 14, 1996, the Grand Lodge of Austria brought the light into these 3 lodges. After that, these 3 lodges formed the Grand Lodge of Croatia, which received the recognitions of the Grand Lodge of Austria on November 8, 1997. Under the patronage of the Lodge Maximilian Vrhovec from Zagreb, 12 Masons refounded the Lodge BuDnost Osijek in 2019. I'm proud to say that I am one of these 12 Masons who are founders of the BuDnost. The lodge received the number 16 as a 16th lodge created in Croatia under the Grand Lodge of Croatia. The first meeting under the open sky was held on May 22nd in 2019 in the restaurant Pri Zvoncu in Zagreb. The ceremony of light bringing to the lodges was held on November 30th, 2019. The lodge currently has 20 members, and in the conditions of pandemic, it functions to the virtual online workshops 2 times per month. This is the current lodge, which is located in one apartment in the city of Osijek. So now I finish with my lecture. I will just now play you the 4 minutes movie. 1 second. Okay, here it is.
Hrvatski grad Osijek imao je prvi među hrvatskim gradovima sreću uvjeriti se na svoje oči kako je masonerija iza zidina svojih hramova provodila mračan i zakukuljen rad, sakriven od sunca i izvan dohvata javnosti. U prisutnosti poglavnikova izaslenika ministra Tortića, mnogih drugih odličnika i velikog broja građana i seljaka, otvorena je ova izložba u prostorijama Slobodno-zidarske lože. Zastupnik poglavnika ministar Tortić izjavio je da je hrvatski narod u svojem dosadašnjem radu za kulturni, gospodarski i politički napredak uvijek s njušanjem pratio rad slobozidarskih loža i čekao samo čas kada će ih moći likvidirati.
Okay, that was it. I will stop sharing the screen. 1 second. If somebody can just help me back to meeting, how should I? Brother Alexander, can you help me?
Press to share the screen. You can unshare on my
Share, yes.
I got only new share. Stop share. Okay, stop.
Okay.
Make it
I
up.
just before I finish, I need to give credentials to the because the movie, the photos original from the museum, and the facts I took from the book which was written by our brother Grgur Marko Ivankovic, who is also the director of the museum of the Osijek. And he is the writer of the book called The Heritage of the Osijek Freemasonry Lodge BuDnost. So thanks to him, I was able to have this presentation with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Igor Ilicin. First of all, I would like to call Brother Alen Lovrencic, who is the master of the Quatuor Coronati Lodge of Croatia, to tell some words if he wants. Brother Alen, please.
Thank you, Brother Alexander. I'm glad to be here with you today, and I'm very glad that you heard about the beginnings of the Freemasonry in Croatia. The lodge BuDnost was one of the two first lodges in Croatia, which was established by the Count Stefan Nitski. The other lodge established by the Nitski was the Varaždin Lodge, Perfect Union. This was the nice presentation of the history of the Lodge BuDnost, and also of the history of the Croatian Freemasonry. As you could see, in Croatia we have a difficult times for Freemasonry, and I am really sad to say that today is not a great time for Freemasonry in Croatia. Also, because we can read from the newspapers yesterday, I think, that the former state prosecutor Dražen Jelenic, who was the Freemason, he was not a Freemason of the regular Grand Lodge of Croatia, but he was a Freemason, and some little more than a year ago, he had to resign from his duty only because he was a Freemason. And yesterday I read from the newspaper that also not because he did something wrong, but only because he was a Freemason, he will be persecuted in Croatia. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are glad to see that Brother Frigyes Bak, the master of the Quatuor Coronati Lodge of Hungary, is here also with us. Brother Frigyes, do you want to say some words, please?
Yes, if it is possible. My name is Federico Bak. I'm the head of the Quatuor Coronati of Budapest, Hungary since 2012. Do you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Regular member of the Quatuor Coronati Austria, Vienna, and a honorary member of the same society in Serbia, Bosnia, and Northern Macedonia. And a honorary member of the GLASP, yes, the Gran Loja de São Paulo. And dear brethren, the only thing I can suppose you is to visit this splendid city of Osijek, which is a part of the World Heritage. The city himself is a fantastic gem of Croatia. And in the museum, Brother Mason is the director, and who is always ready to show you this fantastic Masonic collection, old Masonic collection, complete service of the Masonic restaurant, and many other old Masonic relics and jewels. A small contribution to this beautiful story of Brother Ilicin about the story of the Lodge Osijek is as follows. A Hungarian famous poet at the end of the 18th century, when the Freemasonry was closed during Joseph II, he took away, not legally, the rituals of this splendid lodge. And as he was a member in Hungary, he transported it to Nagykanizsa. Serbian translation could be Velika Kanizsa in South Hungary. I tried to look after. Copy was not to find in the same local museum, but I hope we will be able to find this original copy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The room is yours. Oh, he is not here now. Okay. Well, who wants to ask something to Brother Ilicin or to tell something, please? Who more?
Brother Ranko.
I beg your pardon?
I would like to say a few words, if you don't mind.
Yes, please. The room is yours,
Sure.
Brother Ranko.
Thank you very much. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm a former Grand Master of the Regular Grand Lodge of Serbia and honoring member of your Quatuor Coronati Lodge in Sao Paulo, which I had the pleasure to visit a year and a half ago and to deliver a lecture. So first of all, let me congratulate Worshipful Brother Igor Ilicin for an excellent presentation. I must say I learned a lot from when I say our, I think of our former big country history. And I must say the city of Osijek is something very special for us. I know that our Serbian Quatuor Coronati Lodge had a very close relations, and we got a lot of information about Masonry of our former country and our region. So I could say you really have a Masonic treasure in Osijek. And also, what is interesting to note is that the movie is excellent, by the way. I really enjoyed it. It speaks for itself. That afterwards, what you were saying, after the First World War, there were some, I would say, division among brethren. who were for Croatia and those who were. It was actually 1918, where the Grand Lodge of Yugoslavia, or the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes, was consecrated just a year later, 1919. I think it was a very, very wise decision in those days to have our Grand Master a German, whose name was Georg Weifert. So I think it was really a very important figure for Yugoslav Freemasonry. What I'm a bit worried about is what we just heard from our brother from Zagreb, who is possible master of Quatuor Coronati, that there are problems in Croatia nowadays with those who are Freemasons, even if they are irregular. But it just gives us the feeling, but being a Mason is something that is problematic. So these developments are very, very disturbing, and I'm really worried. I must say, in Serbia, it is not the case. We have really no problems. So hopefully you will manage somehow in Croatia to solve these things and to give Freemasonry the place it really deserves in society. Thank you, brethren.
Thank you very much. Brother Boris Aleksov from the Quatuor Coronati Lodge of Serbia, do you want to tell something on behalf of the Master of the Lodge, Brother Josip Schosberger, please?
Irmãos todos, greeting. I'm not sure if Schosberger is here. Maybe he should address if he's still available. Šoco, da li si tu?
Tu sam.
So, Brother
Okay.
Josip, please, the room is yours.
Thanks. Dear brothers, fraternal greetings from Novi Sad, from Serbia. I'm very happy to see you and be with you today and here. The situation with COVID is a little bit better here. I hope that will happen to you as well. Congratulations to my brother Igor for today's work. Lodge Vigilantia from Osijek is especially close because one of ours, the oldest members, Metropolitan Stratimirovic, became a Freemason in that lodge in Vigilantia. His name is today the name of the largest lodge in Novi Sad and Serbia. It proves even more that our history is connected. I hope to see you in our works here. So mote it be. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Brother Boris Aleksov from the Quatuor Coronati of Serbia. Please, Brother Boris.
Irmãos todos, again, not only Quatuor Coronati Serbia, but Quatuor Coronati Croatia, Zagreb as well, which is actually what I wanted to touch. My name is Boris Aleksov. I'm coming from north part of Serbia, actually from the hometown of Aleksandar Jovanovic as well. So many brethren connected with this, but let me give you an angle. Thank you, Brother Igor, for letting us know about great history of the lodge in Osijek. Subotica, my hometown, and Alexander's hometown as well. By the way, both Alexanders from Budapest and Sao Paulo, hometown, and Osijek are twin cities. They are built roughly in the same manner. You can see Art Nouveau, you can see same approaches, and even masonry is somehow similar. Fact of the matter is that now in 21st century, we live in different countries as it was in 19 and 18. But yet again, I'm so proud that Igor, who is doing so splendid work in Osijek as a brother and connecting Serbia to Croatia as well, like Quatuor Coronati is doing on these lovely meetings. And I can only wish that I have another opportunity that happened, I think, something like 8 years ago, when I've seen 8 or 9, Brother Ranko, most worshipful Brother Ranko might help us here, 8 or 9 grandmasters from Brazil. So that would be lovely if you can come to Europe. You are more than welcome. And maybe to see and feel how Freemasonry, even nowadays in Europe, in this, I will not say turbulent, but well, hectic part of Europe is working to connect people. So hope it will work for the many years to come. So mote it be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Somebody else, please, wants to tell something, to ask something, please.
Good day, if you don't mind. My name is Milutin Ivanovic. I'm the secretary of the High Park Melita Lodge, and I bring the fraternal greetings from our master, Christian Chovanaki. I'm very happy to have seen the presenter, Igor Ilicin. He actually comes from our lodge, where he was initiated into Masonry, and we're a little bit sad that he has moved to Europe because we don't get his wonderful company. However, on the other hand, I'm blown away to be meeting with brethren from so many different countries all at once. I really wish that this could happen more often, because it's a wonderful way to share the fraternal, history, points of view, to give support to each other. So thank you very much, Brother Ilicin, once again for inviting me here, and greetings to everybody.
Thank you very much. Somebody else, please, brethren. Somebody else wants to tell something or to ask something to Brother Ilicin about his lecture. You can raise your hands or you can say, tell something. Nobody else? Okay. Brethren, thank you very much. First of all, dear
there is a brother Fernando, I think. Sorry, Fernando, what I saw.
Yeah.
Yes, may I?
Yes, of course, Brother Fernando. I could not see that you raised the hand. Please, the room is yours.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me to attend this meeting. It's really a great pleasure. Let me just briefly introduce myself. I'm Brazilian, but I'm a member of United Grand Lodge of England, International Lodge in Manchester. It's a kind of a very international lodge with brothers from at least 100 different countries. So for me, this environment is really very familiar, and I do recommend us to try to meet more often. It was a great pleasure also to hear about the history that Brother Igor nicely introduced us. So I would like to congratulate him and all the previous brethren that gave their compliment and follow-up comments. But I also have some curiosity. I mean, of course, the main point of the talk was to show the history and to try to remind us that we needed to be all the time prepared to handle this kind of unfortunate situation that life can offer us. But in terms of the rituals, what's the main difference between what was practiced before and what's practiced nowadays? Are they what was in the past and how is now? Brother Igor.
Ooh, a little bit philosophical question. My impressions are same like everything else in our life. Things evolved, and I'm afraid that Masonry is maybe evolving in the wrong direction. I think that it was more noble at that time to be a Freemason than today. Of course, there were rough times during the wars where people suffered because of their membership in the Brotherhood. But these days, I found more and more people not interested in becoming a Freemason or in anything that is Freemasonry's trying to share with the humanity. So this is one of my concerns. I hope that this trend of decreasing number of brothers will stop, and that people will soon realize how beautiful Freemasonry actually is.
Can I just continue the question? How do you see I mean, what can we do now to try to recover these nice views that we had from the past? I mean, to put us back on trail again.
There are, one of the ways is like, for example, I lived in North America, and right now I live in Europe, in Croatia. It's two different approaches. In North America, you can find the addresses of the temples and registered in the yellow pages. You have lots of charity actions and like a good propaganda about the fraternity. You can see it on TV. You have lots of public marches and everything. From the perspective of the Europe, it's really close. Like I don't know, like as soon as somebody, for example, the best situation was, as a proof of this, is what worshipful brother Alan Lovrencic mentioned, that last year was a big scandal when some photos were published in the newspapers, and it was kind of shock. So is it good to suddenly publish our work, whatever? I don't think so. I think that we should do it slowly. And in my opinion, that would be the way, because if we too radically start promoting the fraternity, I think the response would be also radical. So we need to be patient but persistent.
May I add a few words to Brother Fernando, if you don't mind? I'll take an example, what we did in Serbia. We started in 2013, having public exhibition on Freemasonry. We were worried how the public is going to react, but what we did, we actually picked from our history all those famous personalities who were Freemasons and made an exhibition on them. So the kids were actually learning about these guys in history and literature and so on. And then all of a sudden, everybody was thinking, come on, but those were all Freemasons, so Masonry is not that bad, as we are told. So then finally, what really makes, can you hear me? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What made us very proud of, we in the south of Serbia, in the city of Niš, there was an old synagogue that was not used anymore. So our brethren there somehow made it like an area for exhibition. So in this synagogue, we made a Masonic exhibition and invited everybody. I think the mayor was a bit reluctant to come, but anyhow, finally, it was so popular that after 2 weeks, we got a letter from the mayor asking us for exhibition to remain for another 2 weeks, because there are so many children from schools going there who want to see that. So what we did, if you speak about people who are today Freemasons, you run the risk that somebody might do something wrong or they're not accepted by society. But if you go to your history and pick up those personalities who are Freemasons, just show them, like history of Freemasonry in Brazil or any other country, so slowly you start building up a positive image of Freemasonry. Thank you.
Thank you. Brother Boris Alex, raise the hand, please. The room is yours.
Oh, sorry, wrong.
Oh, okay, okay. Somebody else, please, brethren. Brother Fernando, again, do you want to say something?
No, I'm happy. It was just that I was clapping.
Okay, okay, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Somebody else, please. Yes, I can see nobody else. Okay. It was a wonderful occasion to see all you. It was a wonderful occasion to have an international meeting in the Quatuor Coronati São Paulo Lodge. And I hope I can see all you in the next month, in June, when we'll have another meeting. You will receive the links, of course. I think that it's very important to be vigilant, vigilancia, because of the situation it's not always so simple to see what can happen today against Freemasonry. This is the question, because of which I think that we have be vigilant. We have to be surveillant, of course, because as we can see, in many parts of the world, we're not welcome, unfortunately. Yes.
Just final words before we go to our homes. I just want to say a couple of brothers send me messages that they would like to share the copy. I would send the final copy. I mean, the final version of this work to Brother Alexander Jovanovic, so everybody who is connected with him can get it from him. And I would also like to thank all of you for Brother Alexander, who gave me the big honor a few months ago when he asked me if I would like to have presentation here. So thank you all, and thank you, Brother Alexander, a lot.
Thank you, Brother Ilicin, for your lecture, the wonderful lecture. It's another opportunity to link brethren from all the world. Thank you very much to see all your brethren, and be safe and take care, because the pandemic is not over yet, unfortunately. And I hope we see each other in June, next June, at the Quatuor Coronati São Paulo or anywhere else in other virtual lodges. Thank you very much.
Muito obrigado, Alexander.
Thank you.
Have a nice day, please.
Congratulations. Thank
Obrigado,
you,
Alexander.
Thank you very much.
Espero vê-lo nas próximas.
Obrigado a todos aí. Até logo. Tchau, tchau. Alexander, parabéns. Tchau, tchau.
See you.
Parabéns, irmão.
Take care.
Até a próxima.
Até.
Até a próxima, meus irmãos.
Tchau, Alexander.
Sucesso a todos.
Bye, bye.
Bye, bye. Tchau.